Why did Caesar betray humans? Caesar's story is one which shows the arrogance of mankind and the overcoming of a species that had been subjected to experimentation. But behind Caesar's story, there is much more than a desire to escape the control of humans. There is the story of a Messiah who changed history and who will directly influence the story of the new movie in this universe, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. In this video, we will be explaining the real reasons why Caesar freed the primates and started Planet of the Apes, and how this will affect Noah. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. Caesar's father, Alpha, died during his mother's kidnapping, and Caesar's mother also lost her life after his birth. Caesar's birth occurs in the midst of chaos. His mother, Bright Eyes, was kidnapped and subjected to multiple experiments. When Bright Eyes gave birth, she did not want her son Caesar to go through the same mistreatment she went through, so she decided to hide him and attack the scientists of the place. It is for this reason that Caesar ends up under the care of Will, the main scientist who was working on the cure for Alzheimer's disease. Caesar is taken away in a box and begins to live among humans, but he is not one of them. In the original Planet of the Apes movies, Caesar was spoken of as a messianic figure, as if he were almost a biblical figure, and this is no coincidence, as Caesar's story has several similarities to the story of Moses in the Bible. But we will talk about that later. From birth, Caesar was an extremely intelligent ape, being even more intelligent than human children of his age. Caesar learned to communicate and even helped with household chores. Caesar was part of the family, but he did not understand his role in the world. Although Caesar was treated like a human, he really wasn't one, and he would soon find out. In one of Will and Caesar's outings to a park, Caesar experienced for the first time what it was like to feel inferior. He saw how humans treated other pets, and he began to hate the chain Will used on him. He began to wonder if he was nothing more than a pet to Will. He started to lose his sense of tribe and family, and began to question who he really was. However, even though he was quite saddened by the realization that he might just be a pet, we see scenes of Caesar helping Will's father eat, and how he protects him by attacking one of the neighbors after Will's father gets confused and steps into the wrong car. The whole society begins to judge Caesar, and he feels he doesn't know where he belongs and tries to escape. Later, Caesar is sent to an animal shelter, where he begins to struggle with his human-like behavior, and must confront other apes. It is here that Caesar begins to understand the difference between apes and humans. He realizes that apes are subjected to experiments and mistreatment, and that the relationship Caesar had with Will was worse than that of a pet, since apes are used for experiments or for entertainment. In this supposed refuge, which was the place where Caesar was supposed to be better off, is the place where he received the most abuse from humans and apes. But Caesar realizes something important. The apes individually could do nothing against the humans, but united they would be strong. One branch alone breaks, but many branches together is more difficult. This symbolizes the scene where Caesar breaks the branch. However, Caesar does not become the leader of the apes because he is accepted by them, or because Caesar wishes to live with them. Caesar has made it his life's purpose to free the apes and to prevent them from being experimented on or mistreated by humans. Something his real parents would have been proud of. Caesar returns to the house where he grew up and steals the drug he would use to enhance the cognitive abilities of other apes, thus creating a race of evolved apes, often with intelligence superior to humans. In Caesar's case, we could say that his IQ was very high. And thanks to this, he was able to organize his new tribe and become their alpha. Caesar was born to reign, but he did not earn his throne through inheritance. He earned it through hard work. Caesar became the Messiah of the apes, and it is no coincidence, because the story of Caesar in this first film is an allegory to the story of Moses. The story of Moses in the Bible shows us two sides, the Egyptians and the slaves. Moses was born on the side of the slaves, at a time when the Pharaoh of Egypt had ordered that all Hebrew male babies be killed at birth. This was due to the fear that the Israelites, who were very numerous in Egypt, might rise up against the Egyptians. To save him, Moses' mother placed him in a waterproof basket and placed it among the reeds along the Nile River. The Pharaoh's daughter found the baby while bathing in the river. Moved with compassion, she decided to adopt him even though she knew he was a Hebrew child. Moses grew up in the Pharaoh's court, knowing he was a Hebrew. The Pharaoh's daughter who adopted him probably told him about his origins. But one day, he saw an Egyptian beating a slave and decided to defend him. He ended the Egyptian's life and rescued the slave, because that slave was one of his own. This starts a confrontation between Moses and the Pharaoh's system, in order to free his people, the slaves. The story of Caesar has many parallels with the story of Moses. Caesar, like Moses, was rescued in a basket after his assassination was ordered. He grew up among his enemies, defended Will's father, and then escaped, as did Moses and the Egyptian. Finally, Caesar returned to his former home, to find the solution to free his true people. The apes who were slaves. In the case of the Bible, the element that caused the Pharaoh to lose the battle was the plague sent by God. In the case of Caesar's story, the element that changed the balance between the oppressors and the oppressed was the virus. And like Moses, Caesar finds a kind of promised land to which he leads his people, escaping the grasp of their past oppressors. Seeing the parallels of this story with religious archetypes of the past, we realize why Caesar is remembered in his tribe as a spiritual messiah, as his story is similar to the biblical ones, and its impact is a similar one. It is for this reason that later the religion of the apes would be created, with Caesar as a messianic figure. Now, we can say that behind Caesar's story, there is the struggle of identity, of how we could grow up in places where we do not belong. But eventually we must face our purpose. In Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Noah will have to go through a similar path. He will have to understand what his purpose is, and just like Caesar, he might grow up among his own enemies, and then save his true people. The interesting thing about the new trailer is that we see Noah constantly with May, a human. Perhaps in this new installment, the roles will be reversed, and it will no longer be about Caesar trying to free the apes from human influence, but Noah saving the humans from the apes' influence, becoming their savior. Perhaps Noah's story will be more similar to Caesar's than we think. But tell me, what do you think about all this? What do you think was the reason why Caesar betrayed humanity? Do you think it's because of his search for purpose? Is Noah destined to be the same? And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.